Hi, everybody. Welcome to Reading Adventures, Fun Strategies to Ignite Students and Support Dyslexic Readers. I am Casilya Smith. I currently reside in Houston, Texas. I'm a 7-time published author and also former educator. I taught 7th grade English for 7 years. I also taught English language learners and dyslexic readers as well. Before transitioning to my current role as a project manager for a government technology company that ensures positive outcomes for children experiencing foster care and adoption. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be able to teach you some fun strategies that you can use both at home or in the classroom. All right, kiddos and parents, welcome to Reading Adventures. I want you to get ready to embark on a fun-filled journey. This is going to transform the way that students and readers experience reading. We will explore engaging strategies that will not only ignite a love for reading, but also provide essential support for dyslexic readers as well. So are you ready to dive in? Just a special note, I am going to be using my book, Dear Queen, in order to illustrate some of the strategies today, but you can use these strategies for any book, any grade level. So if you have any questions, my contact information will be at the end of the slideshow today. I love talking and meeting people, so definitely connect with me for more resources. All right, so the power of read aloud. I know. Kids, especially teenagers nowadays, they're so shy. They don't want to read aloud. They rather read in their minds, but you don't know how fluent your child or your readers are until you hear them read aloud. What are things that we are listening for? We're listening for speed and pacing. We're listening for pronunciation. We're listening for, is my child or my student reading the words accurately? If not, what type of words are they making mistakes with, right? You also want to think about their expression. Are they reading robotic like this, or are they reading with excitement or matching the tone or energy of the overall feel of the book? So reading aloud is very important. I have a son, he's 10 years old. He is encouraged and voluntold to read at least 20 minutes a day. I do let him choose from his array of books, but I encourage you to find some time to read with your child. You can read a book together. Something that Elijah, who is my son, something that we both do is we'll pick a book and then I'll read a page and then he'll read a page. What does this do for him as the reader? When I'm reading with character and expression and pizzazz, right? And so he starts to mimic my example. And instead of just reading words, he's allowing the words to come alive and he's getting into character. So try experiencing read alouds with the paired reading. Also, a good thing to listen for is how your child makes connections to the story. What kind of predictions can they make to the text? So I'm going to show you an example again using my book, Dear Queen. So buckle up and enjoy. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole book, but more so I want to show you how you can use questioning and connections and predictions with your child during read alouds to gauge their understanding and comprehension for the text, right? So even just looking at the picture alone, I might say, hey, what do you think the girl's mood is? Let's look at her face. What do we think her mood is? How is she feeling, right? So you can ask a younger child, how is she feeling? Well, they might say, well, she seems to be listening. She's somewhat smiling. She seems engaged for as an older child. What about the little girl? It seems that maybe she's confused, or maybe, her hands are up. Maybe she's asking a question. What do you notice about the two girls? Well, one is short and one is tall, or maybe one is younger and one is older, right? So what about the text? The text says, But who taught you how to doubt yourself and to not recognize your worth? You've been so busy losing yourself, and you don't know how bad that hurts. So, the way that I was able to ask questions, make connections, right? Even with younger children or teenagers, you can ask, has there ever been a time where you doubted yourself, where you felt like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, right? Allow your child and your reader to make those valuable connections to the text. This will draw them in, this will engage them, and it'll make it stick. It'll make them retain what they are reading, okay? Another way that you can build comprehension, fluency, and even make reading more exciting is to meet the children where they are. They love to play games. They love, on second thought, I think that this is for adults too. They love for work not to feel like work, right? So we want to incorporate fun games. Think of scavenger hunts, right? So maybe you're reading a book about a winter storm or, a freeze, right? Outside, a blizzard or some sort, or maybe even Christmas. You can say, hey, child, insert your child's name. Go find me something in the house that reminds you of winter, of cold, right? And so give the child maybe a 60 seconds, right? Make it fun, like it's urgent, right? So it can make it feel like a race of some sort. And maybe the child brings you like this bird, for example, that has like a scarf and then it has like a little hat because it's cold, right? So maybe this reminds them of winter, about making that connection with the story that you're reading. Bingo is another really fun one. You can find free bingo vocabulary templates online. You can even make your own. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but use words that the student or child are either working on or working towards, or you can use words that are in the story. So for example, in Dear Queen, you might see the words brilliant or majestic or genuine or inspiring, incredible, fascinating, right? And so you can build a bingo card and then have, tie some like prize to it or something. Maybe candy, your favorite meal on the weekend, right? Or maybe they can have a friend or a cousin over to come over as well. So finding ways to make reading exciting is really going to be transformative for your student and your child. You're going to see progress there. Another fun one are flashcards or even a matching game. So you could use even like paper and just write each word twice. So brilliant, brilliant, cautious, cautious. Mix them up and make them into a tile and then have them find the matches, right? So that's another way that they are able to retain vocabulary words. Specifically for dyslexic readers, depending on what level of a reader they are on, you can do even phonetic sounds, such as F makes the sound, so you can make the letter on the bingo card, or even A makes the A sound, or A. And so when you specifically call out a specific letter, you can give the sound and the child actually finds the match on the vocabulary word. So I would say as an apple. And then you could have either a picture of an apple that they have to find or the actual A with the short vowel sound symbol on top of it. So those are just some ones that I can think of right now. But again, I have an array of resources that you can connect with me about. Okay, so visual supports do matter, parents, teachers, and kids. A lot of times you'll see that when we're talking to children, depending on their learning style, the majority of our kiddos, things may go through one ear and out the other. Kids, especially the younger they are visual learners. They need to hear it, yes, but they also need to see it in order to make those connections. You think about my book again, Dear Queen. They have two brown girls on here, right? So they can make a connection that, hey, this girl looks like me. Hey, I'm also tall. Or I'm also short. I also have curly hair, right? So seeing establishes that initial connection to whatever the lesson is. So we use visual supports even in math, but specifically in reading and in writing, they're very helpful. You'll see in most like elementary classrooms and sometimes in middle school as well, they'll have different visual organizers on the walls. This helps English language learners, so students that are learning English as a second language. And it definitely helps our dyslexic students as well to be able to process things in a way that is digestible for them. But really, visual supports help anybody. So I've never seen a visual support harm anyone. It only helps. So it makes the readers better, allows them to process their thoughts, especially when writing. So you might see visual support such as like T-charts. You can list like pros and cons, facts, opinions, concept maps. You can usually write like a word or the title of a story in the main bubble, and then key ideas or supporting details that describe the concept in the middle. KWL, what does your child already know? So earlier in Dear Queen, I talked about self-doubt, right? What do you know about confidence? What do you know about doubting yourself? What do you know about believing in yourself? W is, what do I want to know? Maybe your child says, I don't know what self-doubt is. I want to know how to be more confident, like the girl in the book, right? So ask your child questions. Let them come up with questions for what they want to know. And then learn after they've read the book or the story, they can jot down things that they learned. I learned that self-doubt is when you don't believe in yourself. So this is something that happens internally within me, right? Storyboards. You can order, usually with younger children, I have them draw pictures. So after they listen to me read a story, I'll have them draw their interpretation in the order, so chronological order. The order of events, I'll have them actually draw, and it actually works with middle school and up as well. For some reason, this is a creative and artistic generation, so allow them to express their rendition of the story in ways that is comfortable and engaging for them. It doesn't always have to be words, right? And then Venn diagram, we're actually going to see an example here on this next screen. So using Dear Queen, if you're not familiar with Venn diagrams, we have what is different, between two characters, between two stories, between you and the character on the outside circles, and what is the same is going to be in the center. So if you remember the picture, which I will show you again so that you can have a refresher, I'll actually show you a separate page so you can get a very clear picture of where these adjectives come from, right? You'll see on the Venn diagram, I asked, what do you notice that are different between the girls, right? So one's short, one's tall, one's young, one's older. So it looks like she might be a child, right? This one might be a teenager, okay? This one, what we know when we read the story, she doubts herself a lot. This one, she's more confident. She's trying to speak encouragement and confidence into her, right? And what are some things that are the same? Well, they both have curly hair. They both are African-American or brown-skinned girls. They both have the same clothes on, right? Okay, so let's look at the Venn diagram once more. Okay, so we're back here. So we'll see my differences. We have young teenager, confident, struggling with fitting in, short, tall, and in the middle, you'll have the things that are similar. So they're both African-American, curly hair, same outfit. And again, you can make connections with the text. So you could have yourself. So I could say me to the other character. Maybe she's a teenager. I'm an adult. We're both brown skin. I have braids. She has curly hair. So those will be some differences, right? She has on an orange blazer. So that's the difference. I have on a white blouse or a shirt. And so have fun with Venn diagrams. They don't, again, always have to be a tedious or a task, but you can really connect to the text even more. And that's a valuable skill that you're going to not only need in reading and in math, but in life, comparing and contrasting, knowing the similarities and the differences. The next one is really, really good, especially in the classroom, to have a buddy reader. It's very good to pair students together so that it's not as overwhelming, right? Sometimes when you have students read aloud in front of, 17, 18, 25, 30 students, it can be like, oh my gosh, like I don't want everyone hearing me read, or maybe I don't feel like the best reader and they're going to make fun of me. But when you're paired up with just one other person, it's like, right, the guard is down, you feel more at ease. It's a safe space, especially for those with reading disabilities such as dyslexia. In that case, I typically would either pair my students based on levels, right? So I observe the behavior. If I know that a student can benefit from reading with someone who is a more advanced reader, then I might pair them together because they can, the reader that is a struggling reader can learn from being paired with a more advanced reader. But depending on their comfort level, if they feel more comfortable when they say, hey, we're just alike, I don't have to feel ashamed or feel shy, then I'll pair them more with someone who's on their level and help them to grow together. So I'll usually spend more time with those reading pairs. If you're at home, and the child has a sibling, they can be buddy readers. If they have like a cousin or a best friend, someone that comes over often, they can be buddy readers. Or you as the guardian can also be the buddy reader of your child. Sometimes what I've noticed is with my own child, when he sees me read, it inspires him to pull out a book and read too. So sometimes children develop a love for reading because they think we're their role models, right? We're their heroes. They love us. They look up to us. So they mimic and observe the things that we're doing, and so they want to do the same thing. So pull out a book, read. It can be a magazine. Social media doesn't count, but like a physical document. Pull out something and allow your child to fall in love with reading. All right, and lastly, you want to celebrate achievements. Celebrate achievements, okay? Most times kids, sometimes people, adults, but mostly kids, they feel like reading is a chore or punishment. A lot of times if they don't connect with the book, it's not interesting to them, they'll be reluctant to read. And so if you tie it to some type of achievement, you of course want to know the student. So are they someone that is like a words of affirmation person and they just want to, maybe giving them a sticker that says, great job, like it might fill them up and make them feel fulfilled. Or you telling them, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. You're getting so much better with reading. You're reading more words than you were able to read 2 months ago. It can be something tangible. Again, favorite meal. Oh, you can, stay up 30 minutes later on Saturday. You can play a video game, something like that. Or, hey, I'll buy you a book next time we're at the Barnes and Nobles or Half Price Books. Depending on what draws the child in, definitely want to make sure you celebrate that. It can be even something as ice cream or their favorite snack, right? So celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Let them know that you are proud of their progress. It's not about perfection. It is all about progress as developing readers. All right. So in conclusion, of course, incorporating fun strategies I won't even say can, it will significantly enhance the experience for students and dyslexia readers. Just make sure to create a safe and supportive environment that encourages them to explore, to open up, to find joy in reading. Okay, so let's keep this same adventure alive. And that is my presentation today on some really fun and engaging ways that you can empower your young students and your teenagers to fall in love with reading. And again, get them to open up and express too. So it's a win-win, right? So I thank you for your time today. Again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me by email, info@sealthewriter.com. My website is sealthewriter.com, and you can find me on most social media platforms, mainly on Instagram @sealthewriter. I'm happy to connect with you about writing, about reading. If you need help with tangible strategies or even bingo cards or things that you can print out, you're definitely able to come my way. And I look forward to being able to speak with you all and connect with you all in the future. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your week.